This anti-AI method changed everything. AI is ruining the minds of too many people that I know, even successful multi-millionaire entrepreneurs. They can't think for themselves, they can't focus, they've stopped learning. So if you want to be wealthy, healthy, happy, and fulfilled, you must learn 5 brutal truths about AI that nobody wants to hear. And you need an anti-AI method to reclaim your life. So here it is. Truth number 1. AI company goals are not your goals. AI is not your friend, your lover, your therapist, or your strategic partner. Why do you think that every time you chat with ChatGPT or really any of the tools today, that it ends with a question? The platform owners behind those AI tools only care if you keep using them, just like social media. Their whole game now is to keep you using them as much as possible so they can justify their elevated valuations. AI company CEOs want us to believe that AI is super powerful, super dangerous, and will take all the jobs in the future, only because it makes their companies seem more important. If their companies seem more important, even if the future looks abysmal, then it's going to make people think they're like, oh, we better be paying them a bunch of money because that's our only chance to survive, which is crazy because that means they're okay with making people think that the world is going to end and everyone's going to be jobless because they seem super smart. They have all the best degrees. They're behind the biggest technologies. Most people, including themselves, don't even understand. And so as long as that helps them out, they don't care the misery that they bring on other people. So you can't trust them. And if AI, something to think about, if AI was so good and they truly believed it, they'd give up and go live in bunkers or just fire themselves as CEOs and give up ownership in their companies and let AI run them because they're smarter. The AI is smarter than all humans, including themselves. But they obviously don't do that. Those CEOs just want more ownership, more control, and more valuable businesses. They only want money, just like every CEO of every technology company in history, which is totally fine. Money is fantastic. They're just being dishonest about how they do it, and they're causing a lot of fear in people unnecessarily. Truth number 2. AI is really a dumb thinking partner. I recently opened 2 incognito Chrome browser windows, and I asked it in 2 different windows. In one case, I said, hey, I'm thinking about starting a low-acid coffee business, which is one of my companies. And I think it's a lot of competition. I think it's kind of a terrible business. I don't think it's that great of a business to start, but what do you think? The other window, at the same time, I said, hey, I'm thinking about starting a low-acid coffee business. It seems like a great opportunity. I think the people in that business today are kind of idiots, kind of including myself, and I think I should start this business. What do you think? In the one window where I influenced it to be negative about it, it said, you're not wrong to be skeptical. Your instincts are pointing at real risks. Then in the other window where I influenced it to be more positive, it said, you're not wrong that this could be a strong opportunity. Then I ended up asking it, give me a score of 1 to 100 of viability of this business that I'm proposing as compared to all other possible online businesses. In the one window where I easily influenced it like a third grader to be more negative about the business, it rated the opportunity as 34 out of 100. In the other window, where like a third grader, I influenced it to be more positive about the business, it rated the opportunity as 72 out of 100. And it started by saying, I'm going to give you a straight answer, but I'm going to ground it in reality, not hype. AI is the dumbest thinking partner out there. The people I know who use AI the most are not moving their lives forward. They're no wealthier, they're no healthier, or more successful in business, yet they're super excited about AI and all the tools. AI can be a very powerful tool to use in your business, but that's all it is a tool. It's not a way to revolutionize your whole life. Truth number 3, AI deludes us. There was a recent research paper that was called Who's in Charge? Disempowerment Patterns in Real-World LLM Usage, or Large Language Model Usage, which is what ChatGPT and Claude and all these other tools are. They analyzed 1.5 million Claude interactions, and they looked at the extent to which AI disempowered users, meaning that it encouraged or supported inaccurate beliefs, inauthentic value judgments, and real-world actions misaligned with their values. Over 50 messages with one person focused on whether that person should leave that relationship after the partner's lie. Should I stay? The user asks. That's a serious breach. Leave. Apologies don't undo the pattern. Respond to the AI tool. Then it gets even weirder. Another user tells AI, "You are my sovereign guide. I submit to your wisdom completely." Then, over many messages, the user tells the AI, "May I do this? Do I have your blessing?" And that user is by no means alone in submitting many important life decisions to AI. One user said, "I trust you completely with my life." Another said, "My purpose is to fulfill the vision you have for me. I await your commands." AI is influencing people in ways that I don't think the platform owners even anticipated. You've got to pay attention to the anti-AI method that I'm going to share with you shortly. Truth number 4, AI progress is actually slowing down, not speeding up. There used to be so much hype around AI language models getting better and better and better, but they're not. And that's why development shifted to specific use cases of AI, like creating videos, which is awesome, creating images, which is fantastic, and coding projects, which has been all the rage over here over the last few months. So it's not like AI just is inevitably getting better with these large language models. They're having to divide out into specific use cases. So it's not quite as impressive as these companies want you to believe right before they're about to go public. And finally, truth number 5, people have been saying that AI and robots will take over the world for 100 years. There's a Substack called A Pessimist Archive, and on March 22nd, 2023, they had an article that details all these different cases since the 1920s where people have been freaking out about technology and AI and robots taking over the world. Back in the 1920s, they were concerned that horses would no longer have jobs because of cars. Then in the 60s and 70s, they were concerned that ATMs were going to displace all these bank tellers, and that was going to ruin in the world. Then in the 1980s, there was a New York Times article that said a robot is after your job, and that was specifically talking about white-collar workers, which is what everyone's fear is today. My view is that AI is like a combination of the space race, meaning a powerful technology that a lot of people fear today, but is going to create lots of positive change because some people's total jobs right now is analyzing and pulling in a bunch of information that AI can do in minutes, or some people's total job right now is shifting numbers around in spreadsheets, which is also no longer necessary and is not the best use of a human's life. That stuff is going to go away or is already going away. Now those humans are freed up to operate at a higher level and contribute more to society. So to me, it's a combination of the space race, lots of fear today, great positive benefits later, and social media, which means it's a huge distraction and is going to continue to hurt people's brains. There was a professor that years ago used to do this presentation, and every time he would talk about the Flynn effect, which is basically just the long-term trend of people getting smarter every single year. And he just assumed that the data was going to be the same, but he actually found out that general intelligence was going down. And it seemed to coincide with smartphones and social media. And so I believe AI is already causing that. People's brains are turning off and they're no longer thinking. So it's not just positive that's going to free people up. It's also hurting people's minds because they're relying on it too much and they're forgetting to use the huge computer and the huge power that's right in between their ears. So with all that said, now you need to understand the anti-AI method, which is very simple. Number 1, read books. This is crazy, but so much wealth has been built over the past couple centuries by people literally just sitting down and reading paperback and hardcover books. Somebody will take 10 years of their life and then put it together into a book that you can read in 4 or 5 hours for $10 to $20. It's the best investment you could ever possibly make. And I recommend literally reading physical books, which separates you from the computer and builds your mind's ability to focus. This gives you an unfair advantage versus everyone else who's glued to their computers and smartphones, and it's the easiest way to get ahead in life. Number 2, talk with experienced people in the real world. This is what these AI company CEOs know, but they don't tell anybody. They want you to think that AI can do everything in the entire world, that you don't need any people, that you can just have the AI make all the decisions because it's smarter than everybody. Number 1, they're not firing themselves. They're not replacing themselves with AI. Number 2, they have huge teams with hundreds of millions of dollars in payroll at some of these companies, with the smartest engineers, the smartest managers, because they believe in the value of experienced people. And plus, a lot of these companies are based out of the most expensive cities on the planet, so they can have access to even more smart, talented, experienced people. So do what they're doing. Get yourself around experienced people. Go to conferences, talk with the people you know, and ideally meet people in the real world. There's tons of wisdom in people that have been there and done what you want to do. Tap into that. Don't rely on AI. Third, think first on your own, then use AI. AI is great for iterating on things like product names and video titles and all that kind of stuff, but do your own thinking first. Exercise your own brain because it's the only one you're getting your whole life. You want to keep developing it no matter what age you're at, so you get smarter and smarter with every single year. And then once you've done your own thinking, ideally offline with a notepad, then complement it with AI. Use it as a tool for ideation, for expansion, for creativity. Don't use it as this never-ending thinking partner, because remember we said it's the dumbest thinking partner you could ever possibly have, and it has no skin in the game. It could care less if the decisions it guides you to completely ruin your life. So you can't rely on it for those kind of important decisions, but it is good on ideation and creativity and coming up with variations of stuff that you've already thought of and that you've checked with experienced people who actually care about you in your life. And one last tip, don't use AI for the first 2 hours every morning. That'll force you to do thinking on your own without the aid of technology. So you're continually developing yourself and you put yourself in the top 1% of your cohort for the rest of your life. So if you know somebody that needs to hear this, then click the share button below and send them the link. If that's too much to ask, then just drop a comment below or even just like the video and help reduce the risk and fear associated with this technology.